Hey, welcome back. I'm Cameron, where I provide you with accurate science-based health and fitness information for women over 50. So let's jump right in today. Menopause and metabolism. What are we talking about? We're talking about how to fix the dreaded menopause symptoms. Everything sucks. You might experience hot flashes, you might experience insomnia, you might experience a cat squawking when you're trying to make a video. You might experience insomnia, moodiness, hot flashes so bad that you want to, when you're walking down the aisle of the grocery store, you want to jump in the freezer and you feel like you're going to internally combust. Maybe your boobs droop. Maybe your bladder has come out through your vagina and it's sitting in your underwear, and yes, that's a thing. I made a video on it. The list really is endless. But this is going to be a quick, maybe 5, maybe 10-minute video on how to fix the majority of symptoms that we encounter. These are going to be the most common. First and foremost, we got to get knowledge. We got to stop getting information. We need accurate knowledge, science-based, evidence-based research, proven stuff. Not knowledge, I use that term lightly, but from fitness gurus that are male that have no clue what they're talking about, but yet they're offering you a menopausal program. Or a woman that's 37 years old that's not even close to menopause. How are they supposed to know what's going on? Just be very mindful of who you're getting your information from. So the first thing you got to do is you got to gain accurate knowledge. We just talked about that. Gain accurate knowledge. The second thing you got to do is you got to find a provider that has accurate knowledge. What do I mean by that? Maybe you have a provider now that has prescribed you, or you're considering seeing your provider. Maybe the provider you have has prescribed you 0.5 milligrams of estrogen, drew labs one time, and it's been 6 years. Or it's been 6 months, whatever. Our bodies change and our hormone levels change. So it would make sense to think that our hormonal replacement therapy needs are going to change. And I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody prescribing me or injecting me with hormones who has had a chapter's worth of training in medical school. Again, get your knowledge. Make sure that what you're getting is accurate. Don't just go to anyone. Your provider ideally should have some additional hormone credentials and training. And what do I mean by that? Well, the North American Menopause North American Menopause Society.org is a good place to start. They have a list of providers. Then more than likely they're going to have initials after their name, which means they have additional training in hormone replacement therapy. Now, that being said, this is not a hard and fast rule for me. But as I said previously, I don't want somebody prescribing me anything that they don't have a good, solid foundation and continuing education in hormone therapy. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I hope you wouldn't consider that. So the next thing we have to do is we have to get our diet dialed in. What do I mean by that? Listen, it's been proven, recently proven, that women who eat processed foods on a regular basis, cookies, crackers, snacky food, stuff out of a box, stuff that when you look at it, you have no idea how far removed it is from the ground. If it's more than 2 steps, you probably don't want to be eating it. There's a lot of processing that goes into making something, and that's what you want to stay away from. They're usually laden with sugar and with salt and partially hydrogenated oils that make it really bad for our hormones and make our hormones do this. Really bad. But there's been scientific proof over and over and over again that the women that eat that type of diet have higher incidence of diabetes, heart disease, cardiovascular disease. And anytime I'm referring in these videos, if it's a menopause video, when I say these women, I mean women of menopausal age. So please keep that in mind. So we've got to get our diet dialed in. No processed carbs, no sugary, alcohol to a minimum, and we've got to eat healthy fats. What is that? Nuts, seeds, EVOO, coconut, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil. We've got to have good fats. Okay, number 4, BHRT. What is that? Bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So the gist of menopause, which is another video, what is it? Without getting all sciencey on you, we lose estrogen because the baby-making factory is shutting down, so it recognizes that we no longer need the hormones, estrogen and progesterone, that are involved in the reproductive cycle. So when it goes away, so does our skin texture, so does our hair texture, so does our good mood, so does our thin, lean frame, our nice sleep cycle goes. Everything is the opposite of what it should be. When you replace that with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, we'll get into bioidentical versus synthetic in another video. But when you replace estrogen and progesterone, you level out. Everything that has to do with menopause becomes tolerable. In some cases, you may not even recognize you're in menopause. And I'll tell you about my experience with that later. Okay, we talked about diet, we talked about hormone replacement. Okay, this is a biggie here. They're all biggies, but we have to get our gut, we've got to get our gut fixed. For me, let's see, what am I, 56? I'm not even sure when I went through, and again, that refers back to what I was talking about a second. I'm not even sure when I went through it, but when I did, my gut went haywire. It was like, today I'm fine, tomorrow I'm not. Estrogen is gut protective, simply put. And when we remove estrogen from our homeostasis, from our day-to-day life, our gut goes haywire. So we've got to get that fixed. And how do we do that? Again, that's another video. So number 6, we've got to decrease stress. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, everybody knows we got to decrease stress. But we don't do it. When we have chronic stress, we are not meant to live in that fight or flight state. Because what happens when we're in that fight or flight state, we're in that constant fight for our life mode. That increases cortisol, which is the stress hormone. That results in more fat. Simply put, we don't want that. We get that menopause belly for a number of different reasons, but that is one of the number one reasons. Cortisol level has increased due to our stress. So we've got to reduce stress. And number 7, and the last one, there are other things, but these are the major ones. But number 8 is going to be the number one thing that you can do. Number 8 is we have to increase antioxidants. These are body and cardiac protective, increasing antioxidants. You can do that by supplementation. You can do that by diet, a good diet, operative phrase, good diet. But this has a major impact on everything to keep our bodies normalized, going back to that homeostasis that I was talking about earlier. So what is the number one thing? I'm going to put it down right now, drum roll, that you can do. It doesn't cost you anything, that you can do to fix all of these menopausal symptoms. All of this stuff is on the internet. It's on all of the science website, PubMed, National Institutes of Health. You can find it, and you can confirm what I'm saying to you. And I hope that you will. The number one thing that you can do to alleviate today your symptoms is strength train. What? Listen, this has so many benefits, strength training, that I could wipe this board clean and start writing and I wouldn't have enough space. First and foremost, it increases your metabolism. It helps you burn sugar. So 2 things right there. Your belly's going down, you're decreasing fat around your belly. So cardioprotective, cholesterol protective, you're decreasing cortisol, you're increasing growth hormone. That, by the way, is the #1 way to increase growth hormone, which we need for strong, lean muscles. Muscle displaces fat, you become leaner and more healthy. We have to start strength training. None of that crap that's going around the internet that all of these so-called fitness gurus are suggesting that even menopausal women do HIIT training every single day. I can't even tell you how many things are wrong with that. HIIT increases cortisol, which is, in short, the fat hormone. That is so wrong. The evidence is there. Strength training is where it's at. If you want to reduce your symptoms, hot flashes, sleep problems, mood problems, vaginal dryness, so many problems can be alleviated with strength training. And this would probably tie for number 1, bioidentical hormone replacement. Maybe 1, maybe 2, but the #1 thing is strength training. And then all of these others absolutely are critical for that. I wouldn't suggest that you incorporate them all at one time because that would be kind of difficult, but 1 at a time, maybe 1 every 2 to 3 weeks. But you can do this. And when you do, you are going to feel 1,000% better. You may not feel like you think you should feel, and that you probably can feel, but you have to keep going. Implement these today. Talk to your provider about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Is it right for you? Collectively, both of you make the decision. Hopefully that's helpful and you did find some value in this, and that the next video will also provide value for you. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.